Hello world, we are officially back. I'm going to cut in here real quick to them and see what they're probably getting on about. Mayhap? Nope, looks like I got them just in time. And then there is our faces. Bam! Yeah! Perfect. God damn it. Go ahead and hang up on the man himself, unless it's actually him. There we go. Ideal. Much appreciated. So, what's going on, everybody?
Not much. Just kind of chilling.
Well, the excitement is abound in this group.
Yeah, chill. Getting ready for tonight's game.
Getting ready? What do you mean getting ready? You've not done anything all day.
Yeah.
Just existing in the same space. So, let's get on some recap then.
Alrighty. Everyone, get your chains and get your locks. Get ready to get shackled in for your shackled recap.
Oh my God. My God.
Can we kick him? I mean, is it too late? Too late just to go ahead and replace?
No, because then you wouldn't know what happened last session.
Thinks he's not wrong about for 1,000, Alex.
We can kick him out after the recap.
Okay.
I feel like I could pretty accurately recap what happened last session. And
I feel like it was close for everyone on every front. The only person who doesn't know really anything about last week was Innie.
Correct.
That's me.
That is
I
you.
was gone.
That is in fact you. So, what happened, Ronald? Let's start.
As we started making our way to the guardhouse, we didn't realize that Cort and Rahk were roughly in the same area as us. When we started hearing the sounds of blades clashing, and we started hearing these unusual skittering noises, and we realized that the vampires had begun their assault on the city.
Yeah,
and had done so
did.
by climbing the walls from all angles for the most part. We helped dispatch a large portion of them for the Orcish Guard, and then we decided that we needed to split up to better manage the resources that we had available to us to stem as much of the damage as much as possible.
Right.
Started off in two groups. It was Cort and Rahk that went to the northern side, and then Ulhime and Jakob that went to the southern side of the city.
Let's break there. Give someone else an opportunity here. We'll talk about. Let's go to Cort and Rahk, though he's not here yet. What was that experience like up north, up yonder?
it was rough going.
Yeah.
At first, it wasn't too terrible. Just a few, 80 vampires here, 80 vampires there.
Sure.
So on and so forth, as you do.
As you do, that's right.
And then we came upon a congregation of sorts.
Okay.
And that's where things got real shitty.
Each time that you waded into a wave, you came out the other side more or less fine, given a few amount of scratches, about 10% damage each run through. Before, of course, you declared power attack, which was giving them an opportunity to strike more often, granted a little bit more damage. But, I digress, you continued to move forward. And tell me about this congregation of sorts.
So, yeah, there were fucking another set of 80 vampires. There were 3 hags, or at least what we found out to be hags later on. They first appeared as naked, beautiful women. Or I don't know if you threw beautiful in there, but that's just my own flair on the situation.
Okay. If they're naked, they're beautiful.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go ahead and look at naked, ugly women.
I mean, I'm not going to comment.
I don't know what you're into.
But I'm sure that there are people for everything, and that's sowing something in the eye of the beholder.
Look, man, naked is beautiful, all right?
Yeah. Don't shame this place, all right?
And just like that, this became a nudist stream. One moment.
This is the moment that he knew he fucked up when he got kicked off of Shackled City for walking on nude.
Sniper's like, we're doing no pants? No pants.
Wait, you're wearing pants?
I wasn't wearing pants. He's just holding them. No slut shaming. That's right. That's right.
So yeah, 3 naked women, 80 vampires or so that were goblins, and a child. Actually, was it 3 children to begin with, or was it
2? It was 2.
2 to begin with, and then a dire bear.
Not just any regular dire bear.
No, it was just regular dire bear. It's fine.
It was just completely regular. There was nothing else weird about it.
It was a decaying undead
Yeah.
dire bear.
This is a zombie dire bear. As if things couldn't have got any worse. A zombie dire bear.
It's a dire zombie.
That's right. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess of a fight, which looked really grim. You didn't exactly have that many men with you at the time. I think you only had like 10.
Like 10 or 15.
And then you were like, Reggie, run back and tell the others this is going to be bad.
Basically.
And it was like, okay. Did just that. Ran back to report in, and he didn't bring many men back with him. It was about 20. We'll pass this over to what happens southbound. What's going on with the Ulhime show?
Well, with the Ulhime show, we were moving west towards the south end of the city because we were trying to get to the mayor's. And Ulhime decided to ninja his way through town by just appearing invisible to the undead, leaving Jakob and the Blue Duke to kind of bog through on their own.
Sure. Probably
And,
looked
well,
a little weird, I'm guessing, to at least to you, that he stood still and they just bolted around him in all directions. Like, hello, there's this fucking guy right here. Why aren't you attacking him? But there he was.
I got a feeling that it's just because I was taller.
You know, it might have been. It might have been.
Yeah,
They may have mistaken him for a really thick mailbox.
There's the whole thought on the dwarves and reading, so I assume that it affects the undead too. You know,
Maybe.
they're under eye height.
Stretch of the imagination, especially for things that are even shorter than dwarves. But, you know, we'll run with it. They didn't notice him for reasons.
Yeah, for reasons. So me and the Blue Duke battled our way towards the mayor's house.
Yes, he did.
Meanwhile, Ulhime, kind of speeded off on his own and ran into a vampire child that was kind of directing the combat, directing these hordes. And from there, I'll let Ulhime take it over.
Yeah.
So as I get into the Temple of Cort, I notice that the vampire child is there, making its way in through the window. I try to tell Ronlert that there is one of them here by trying to keep quiet, and I point to the window. Vampire child jumps down and runs behind him, which then Ulhime realizes, okay, this man is either being controlled by him or, he has to be getting compelled by him because vampires are known to do that. But with the dispel magic, he realizes that isn't the case, that he's completely aware of what's going on. And as he runs to the back of the church to try and hide from Ulhime, Ronler essentially uses himself as a shield to protect his little one against the next attack. But because he is not undead, and because his little one is, when he sent that last wave of divine energy to the child, he ended up vaporizing him into dust.
Yeah, you took it upon yourself to find the agent of the Temple of Cort, the Temple of Lordly Might,
Yep.
and you evaporated his daughter behind him after he pled with you to not harm his daughter.
Yeah, because we've already dealt with enough vampires, and taking the risk on it wasn't something he was about to do.
Okay.
Especially
All right.
with all the genocide that's happening outside.
So are you going to send him like a fruit bouquet, or are you going to break out like a guitar and can't
Nope.
believe he's my best friend?
I'm gonna tell him, get your fucking men together and start helping people. Like I told him before I left. There's people dying outside. Stop staying in here. And then fucking walked out.
Good old lawful good.
Good old super sensitive Ulhime.
Yep.
Nut up, Buttercup. We got shit to do.
Yep.
I mean, being lawful good doesn't necessarily mean I have to be you know, sunshines and fucking rainbows with people. Like, there's literally like this. The evil that was that vampire child was the reason that the city's in the situation that it's in with all the goblins. Like, to say that he's just gonna be like, yeah, we'll compromise. It's gonna probably happen. Fucking, you know, again, give it a few months, whittle down the vampire numbers. It's okay. No big deal.
Well, no, it's a more of a matter of empathy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Up to this point, Ulhime has been incredibly empathetic, and it seems as of recently, he's lost that.
No, he's just pathetic.
I wouldn't say that. Cort maintains that.
Yeah.
Cort maintains that. What else happened?
That would be jumping back over to the fellas over here.
Well, something large actually occurred. Something tremendous occurred in the middle of combat. It's a bit of a tide shifting.
Made her appearance.
She did.
She made her appearance as a red dragon and scorched a third of the.
I feel like that's missing
something.
City. Just, I feel. No, I think we need to phrase it more like in the middle of, you know, this clusterfuck going through the city, a fucking dragon came out of the ground and laid waste to a third of the city. I mean, I feel like it needs a little more gravitas than just, oh, well, Sasha showed up as a dragon.
Nah, she was there. She left. It's fine.
She was there for a bit. She got bored. She went back home.
Basically.
That's exactly how that went. That was part of the agreement. She said, as soon as I'm tired, as soon as I'm bored of this, I'm going to leave. And you were like, no problem.
Yep. Yeah. That's good enough for me.
That's good enough, yeah. You gave her something.
Yep, I did.
What'd you give her?
I gave her the black, shackled.
Choose your word wisely here. This is going real bad and almost in Sniper's favor.
Ornament.
We know nothing goes in my favor, so don't start.
The tri-void shackles.
Sure. I gave her the don't touch it or it burns you thing.
That's right. The thing that pretty much simply just ruins everything it touches.
The obsidian shard that was in the cage?
The Orcus
inside
shard.
that demon statue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Black, shackled, yeah. That's good. I like that. But you're not wrong. It was.
How it was going to run in my favor.
We just had to be careful. We were entrenching into some wicked, dated Southern territory, and I didn't want to have any familial flashbacks. To see the eye roll, he knew immediately right then what it was about.
I'm a fucking Hawaiian, man.
Oh, it's fucking funny. You're killing me. Oh, Christ. That's good.
But yeah, she burns a third of the city, which we now have to try and stop fires from spreading. Heading back to the northern part, Rahk and Cort were then getting pushed to the southern. We're getting pushed inward into the city, and then getting moved around to the southern part of the lake, where all of us slowly started meeting up, realizing that the vampires were not pushing just us, but the other members of the city into that area, kind of like a kill zone for them.
Okay. What's happening back at the Rahk and Cort camp that was really... Was it a favorable moment, would you say? Trying to fend them off, or did it look like it was kind of coming down to the wire?
It was definitely coming down to the wire. It was a back against the wall, keep swinging till you're dead kind of situation. And we did just that, basically.
Yep.
Kept fighting until... And then...
Yeah, then Jakob came in to save the day.
Something like that. I like to think the Avengers reassembled at that point, because it really became some kind of bizarre super squad. It wasn't just the PCs at this point. Who else joined this fray? Who else was a part of this?
The Blue Duke and our Beholder friend.
And
Yeah, the mayor.
Stay a
one
while
more.
and listen.
Kiana.
The mayor.
There's
No,
that's one of them. Kiana was there.
I
She came in at the very end.
Oh, right. Kiana came in at the very end with like 80 men. Okay, I remember that.
Not
Oh,
actually.
Dugo Bros.
There
Sorry.
you go, Dugo Bros. Dugo Bros.
He
I
might
can-
be.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's
I kept saying Dugo Duke in my head, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. What the fuck is that? And I was like, no. I was like Blue Duke, and I was like Dugo what? I was like Bros. Dugo Bros. I was like, there you go, fire guy.
Dugo Bros. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You did suffer a casualty of your super squad. Which Avenger did
the
you
Blue
lose?
Blue Duke.
The Blue Duke, right? Yeah.
The Hulk.
Yeah, Duke no smash.
I wouldn't necessarily say that he was the Hulk.
I don't know what Avenger he'd be
No.
though. The Blue Hulk.
Excuse me, call him by his proper name. The
Maybe
Blue
like
Dork.
our Vision.
I think
maybe?
Vision. Yeah, it'd have to be Vision.
Yeah. Because I would
Black
say
Widow.
it would be Vision would be
He's Black Widow. Is that
Blue
so?
Duke. Doctor Strange would be our Beholder friend. Who would be Hulk? That would be Will.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Rock would definitely be the Hulk.
Who else was there?
Oh, Captain America's clearly Cort at that point. Boy wonder that nobody really understands how he's still surviving.
The young guy.
He's got a
He's
shield.
Captain America before the transformation.
Yeah.
I would say off like wits alone, I would put Thelsa as our Iron Man. Off of charisma
Okay.
alone. Yeah.
Just
I mean,
without the suit of armor.
realistically speaking, I would actually say Thelsa's probably the closest to Hulk because she did go full demon for this fight.
She did, in fact. She made a pretty
She-
drastic change.
Well, can't you see there's monsters everywhere? She's like, that's my secret, guys. I'm always a monster.
Yeah, that's your yeah, that's your transformation noise. I love it. It's fucking good. All right, yeah. So things happened. Things happened. You're not wrong. We had fighting all the way around Cauldron. The entire episode was a mess. It resulted in some deaths. But before we come to that total amount, you guys are going to have to do the actual damage control this session.
And kill everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
The culling of Stratholme, guys. If you're ever played WoW, you know what that's about.
No.
Let's just destroy all the buildings and start from new. How's that sound?
From the ashes, a new town shall rise.
Let's build it in a grid too, instead of the stupid circle that's expanding pattern, like a dartboard, make it look like a target. I'd rather much have a safe grid, make it look nice.
To be
Safe
fair,
grid.
Cauldron was regarded as the safest city in this southern half of Greyhawk.
Well,
And then we showed up.
It wasn't us.
no,
Just
it was
happenstance
pretty
that
much
we could-
us.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys have 60-foot basalt walls that are about 12 feet thick. That's
still can't keep the
amazing.
dragons out of the lake.
It's fucking dragons. Someone needs to call the aviary. They let their bird out.
Let the
Every
bird
time.
into our lake again.
He was just taking a bath, man. You gotta be mad at Imbarda like that. Jeez.
It's a volcano, not a bird bath.
You guys have officially entered into late game territory where you're regularly having dealings and tidings with dragons and beholders and undead armies and shit like that. This is the things that low level players are like, I wonder if I'll ever see that day.
Only took 5 years.
You're there. You have officially ascended to the point.
I don't know, man. The hardest enemy we've ever fought is that fucking baboon squadron.
That was a long time ago. Could you imagine fighting the baboon squadron now?
Could you
Yes.
imagine running through that tree?
I fantasize about it every single time we play this game.
He's all, I could kill them all by myself. He's all one turn, maybe two for cleanup.
Rahk would, if he had like cleave, greater cleave, yeah, he could just mow through them. You would become a baboon lawnmower. They would call you the wood chipper at that point, man. Yeah, it'd be rough for them mostly. I don't think you'd take much damage. Rock the mallet. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. All right. So tonight
Casbah.
is going to start where last session ended. Did you say the Casbah?
He did.
I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you.
It didn't even occur to me until just now.
Being ashamed of this group.
For the first time.
I know who Rahk is. He's a pirate. They call
Have
him
we ever
Rahk
made you
the
proud?
Boat.
Yes, you have made me proud.
Don't rock the boat, baby.
They said he once hit a ship so hard it started to roll to its side, and hence the name Rahk the Boat.
I'm actually gonna time you out in real life. I'm gonna fucking email a slap chop right to your throat. Okay? That's what I want to send to you right now.
I'll flag it as spam.
You would. You fucking would. All right.
Don't receive emails from this address anymore.
Yeah, no shit, right? That would be my luck every time. All right, so let's go ahead and get the proper music for this so we can start with the burninating.
There used to be a time when we Oh, wrong song.
You know we're still in the game, right?
Oh, my bad.
Thank God it's not
Are
like
you telling me
American Idol.
Ulhime is doing this in game?
Yeah, just he's just standing at the lake. He's all.
This is truly the darkest timeline. That's what it really boils down to.
First level in the bard unlocked.
1 second, guys. Give me just
No problem.
a moment.
Be right back.
I really hope the actual location of my icon is not where I actually am.
Yeah, no, we know that. Yeah.
No, that's
I
just
hope.
where you ended up.
I hope not, but maybe
Yeah,
it is.
you were actually riding the dragon at one point.
All right. So,
Neat.
remember, guys, as viewers, you have some impact in this game. You can change some of the events that are happening. Yes, they are immediately outside of the combat scenario that was before them, but you can still put in potions. You can put in additional interesting or challenging things for them in the regrowth of the town. Perhaps you wanted to put in, like, roving monsters. A rogue squadron of various NPCs that wanted to take advantage of the lawlessness in the town. Perhaps you want to use wild magic bursts and things like that. You can do these things with your reputation. But also something that you guys can do, you can put in luck rerolls. The players will likely need them, as we found last week. They used almost, I think you guys used every one of them.
I had one left.
So we had, out of 25, we used 24 of 25 rerolls. And we were actually, like, when you guys came together, you were parsing your rolls so other people could use them. So,
Correct.
yeah.
So you know what? No, wait. Did I give him? No, because I think the last roll that we did, one of them, it was like, you guys rolled like a 7 or some shit. Like,
Because
Yeah.
we're pretty unlucky. There were a few times that was favorable for you, but most of the time I would say it was against your odds, and they were definitely not in your favor.
yeah.
So, can they migrate the luck rerolls from you? No, that's not how that works. Never has been able how that works. One more moment. JK, I'm back. All right, so while people are trying to figure
Alright.
those things out, you guys now have the opportunity. The floor is yours. The city is burning. The threat is immediately extinguished. Not of fire, but the vampiric threat. The hags dismantled, dismembered. The dire bear lumps removed from its body as it lay in truly decaying fashion. Several goblin children, poniard spinning down to the ground. What do you do here? You're all together. You've arrived at the same point.
So before anything even happens, I'm gonna use. I want to say it's Syrian.
Remember, just because it's a new session doesn't mean you got all of your spells back.
I know. I still have everything from here.
got-
It's the 2 bodies on the floor for the children, right?
Wait,
So
what?
2 bodies of the children, the two vampire children bodies are on the floor.
No, there are, let's see, there are 4 of them.
I'm gonna get them gathered up, lay them right on top of each other, and I'm gonna use Flame Strike on the corpses.
Are you not gonna, is there no conversation at all? Nothing.
Not with this part, no. But I'm doing this just because knowing that the first one has already been eliminated, I want to get the other ones taken care of.
Sure.
I presume I'm still MIA, right?
Yeah, we'll be taking to you in just a moment. I want to give them an opportunity to say anything before we hop to your story.
So, gather them up. I'll do a small prayer for them. Kind of like an atonement thing, but not actually the spell atonement. But once I say the prayer, you'll see like this white line just form down the center, right on top of them, and then just a column of fire that's 10 feet wide and a 40-foot, 10-foot radius and a 40 feet high. So yeah, just a giant flame of holy light, flame just comes out and just incinerates them.
Okay. Sounds good. You do just that. They're not really surprised, right? You've been capable of doing many things like this up to this point, but you're not going to see much resistance because they have, for all intents and purposes, been killed and or maimed to the degree of which they're not moving any further.
Correct. Looking to the rest of the group of whoever we have left at this point, I'll say, grab torches, burn the goblin bodies, and anyone who's been bitten. We don't want to risk them coming back.
The mayor pans for a moment. As much as I think that the threat of the goblins and, well, those children may actually be, we have something other that may be a bit more pertinent. And he turns to point to what is slowly becoming a quarter of your city on fire. So I don't think we'll be needing much in the way of torches. I think we should probably deal with this now.
Agreed. Is there like, it's gonna sound weird, is there like a warhammer or something on the floor? Are there any weapons that I can pick up?
Yeah, you'll find that there are a few of the guards. I mean, the guards didn't use warhammers. They were basically just given long swords. Some of them were given shields as well. Most of them were taught to fight with whatever they had. So in this case, they were outfitted with very common long swords.
Okay. I'll just make do with that then. If on the way I happen to see anything that looks like a large club, I'm gonna use that, or even axes, and I'm gonna start heading towards the fire, so I can start cutting down buildings if possible, or at least damaging the structure enough so where it collapses, so it doesn't reach another building.
Okay. What do we hear from Rahk, and what do we hear from Jakob?
You hear a lot of heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Fucking just puffing it out, trying to catch his breath.
Yeah, Jakob is probably going to break out Klaus's old healer's kit and start trying to at least, do that emergency that sweet emergency first aid on Rahk and Cort.
Okay.
Because, it's all great and good that they survived, but it'd be nice if they didn't bleed out in the meantime.
Sure. Most of their bodies are covered in various scratches and bite marks. A few of them seem to have larger scratch marks. Some are roughly the size of like what you would say is children's hands. One of them seems to be this quite visceral tear across the chest of Rahk specifically, where he was caught by a stray bear claw, a dire bear claw at that. And you gotta remember, dire bears are about 20 feet long, weigh about 12,000 pounds. The pressure and power that they pack behind their punch is disgusting. So yeah, he's bleeding. He's bleeding.
Rahk's just being a big old baby.
Give me a heal.
Shrug it off.
Give me a heal.
Oh, joy.
This is gonna take some time. You're literally going to have to mummify them.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, heal check with the healer's kit adds like plus 10 or something?
No, it's the healer's kit only adds 2.
Nice try.
I'm pulling for you, man. Especially since
That's not terrible, actually. That's not terrible. You do just that. You start to wrap their bodies. It looks like it's okay, but it's bleeding pretty bad. You think that, particularly the large gash across the chest of Rahk, you're going to need someone who's a bit more proficient in this.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to do is dump white ash in the wound, pack it with some, spare material, and then just do it as a compress. Something that should go ahead and help with coagulation.
Okay. Given... You know what? I'm going to write that down. Just a moment. Perfect. And Rahk, are you just kind of allowing him to treat you at this point?
Yeah, I would likely attempt to make moves to assist, but honestly, like, I'm so out of it at this point that I don't know how much help I would be.
But yeah, I figure once you're at least stabilized and you're not bleeding out, I'll probably end up giving you one of the potions as well. Nothing serious, just like a cure moderate. But
all right, it's at this point that two faces appear to you. Some of you may know them. Some of you don't. Rahk, you likely will not immediately recognize at least one of them. But the other you may. Kiana moves up to the area that you are operating, or at least working on Rahk, the half-orc. And as you seem to tidy up and finish the amount of wrapping, this almost semi-crude, because you're working, one, against time, two, under duress. It's rough. It's rough to say the least, right? But the moment that you stand and you offer a hand to him, Kiana Green puts a hand on the inside of your clothing. And she snaps at the neck of your armor, your clothes, and she whips you around. You notice it immediately. The eye is parrying wild.
Oh shit, I forgot.
I don't know why you're still alive. Because we hung you. Yet you stand here. You and I are going to have some words. But not now. The city is burning. And we're all in danger at this point.
wise choice.
She leans down and she assists in helping you up, Rahk, in your damaged state. You likely do still have a few rounds of rage available, but given your health, it's not something that I would honestly say, as a storyteller, I would advocate you doing.
No, I'm absolutely not flying into a rage anytime soon.
Sure. Okay. The second face that appears to the party is one that nobody has seen in quite a while. A woman. Probably in her mid to late 20s. Golden blonde hair. It's short. She has burn marks that run up her neck and over her face. It's Jenya. She moves in.
Yay!
She has a bit of a stagger in her walk. But she immediately lays hands upon you, and she starts healing. You're one of the few that survived, and Jenya is here.
I'm just glad that she survived.
I'm also glad. And not just because she's healing me right now.
Rahk. Given the circumstances, she hits you with 24. A divine light pours over your body, and she realizes that everybody is in kind of a bad way at this point. She's going to channel. Can you cue your channel for me, Ronald? I want to see what it is based off of her stats, but I need to look at a higher level channeler. Okay, it's a d6 for every... How many levels? Every odd level? Where is this at? Ronald?
I'm checking right now. Should be on here.
I also
let me
just
check the
noticed
actual,
that your channel is Chanel. You put Chanel positive energy.
It's equal to 1d6 points of damage plus 1d6 for every 2 cleric levels beyond first.
Okay. All right. So
There you
everyone,
go.
is it plus level as well?
No, you don't add
no.
your level to it.
Okay. Then everybody is going to heal 17. She doesn't know who you are. She doesn't really say much to you, but she moves to anyone that may have damage upon their bodies.
More
Ulhime,
importantly, she just don't care.
What's up?
you need to make a will save.
I'm not there. I already left.
This would be happening like all within this moment. Like you're casting fire while they're picking people up. Your action does not.
Oh.
Yeah, like this.
okay.
This is all happening at that same time.
Yeah. Roll to make sure that you're not push the tempo in.
23.
Okay. Yeah, you will take half. So you're gonna take 8. Following this is when we're going to have a bit of a scene change. The camera is going to move. Thelsa. Given the previous circumstances, you were turned into a creature. Not just any basic creature. You took a very different form. Can you recall what that form was?
It was that of a Hezru demon.
A Hezru demon. That's correct. Let me see if I can get a photo for anybody who is curious what a Hezru looks like. That's a bit of a dated picture, and it looks really bad. We'll take that one. Yep. View, image. Nope, that's the whole internet. This always happens, man, every time I try to look something like this up. Oh, wait a minute. I actually think I might have saved it. That should work. Here, guys, this is essentially what a Hezru looks like. You can find this in chat. There we go. They can stand bipedally so, but they prefer to move on all fours. You've assembled yourself, or assumed this particular form, courtesy of an agreement that you had with Sasha. You needed help. You had zero access to your spellcasting abilities since the wild magic has affected you, and you needed a way to be able to aid your allies in this endeavor. So she gave to you your form. In fact, she wanted your form after you were done, but you said no.
Yep.
But she took something else, and now you've assembled this form. You move out onto the city. You moved out much earlier. I need to get from you memory tests. This is going to be wisdom.
Okay. What, just a flat wisdom?
Yes. Give me 6 of them.
That was interesting.
Okay. You actually only remember... You only succeeded in a third of those. Interesting. That's interesting. So let me depict these events. You're essentially going to gain flashing imagery, right? Essentially, it's this blood spatter, the taste of some kind of bile or disgusting viscous fluid that stripes across the tongue. There's going to be gnashing and tearing, screams from goblins and people alike. But at one point, your vision becomes significantly more clear. Your vision appears to you as you're actually stepping outside of the basalt walls. You walk out of the south gate. You smell what you believe to be burning. But not the kind of burning of the houses and the homes and the businesses behind you. This is very different. This is like an electrical fire. And as you move, following this smell, the hackles raise across your body. You can actually feel the spikes on your carapace shake. The plates seem to almost quiver with anticipation. Something is moving down the ravine of this mountain, this volcano. In the tree line, you see light. It's moving incredibly fast. And you gain a sense of danger. Your vision fades again for a moment, and when you begin to regain that memory, you're standing in the woods, this time bipedally so. Your best guess is this is where you had moved. And you're peering at a creature, roughly the size of the dire bear. But this isn't a dire bear. This is a creature that, while on all fours, seems to be a bit more dexterous. Its limbs look to be gaunt, just barely covered in hair, but burned, and where it is not quite burned, it seems to be almost this electric blue. It moves in a way that its body turns, but its head never peers away from you. It's sort of like holding and guiding the chicken and watching its head stay in the same place. But this is not quite that. You sense bloodlust on this beast. You notice that it's missing an eye. As it turns, it's missing a tail. And then before your memory fades, it crosses a 100-foot gap between trees and a blink. And it is upon you. You feel the plates on your body being torn away. You struggle with everything that you have, this demonic power that seems to echo throughout your very soul. The blood of your family that gives you all of the access to your spells aches. And as you blink several times, you can see spatters of your own blood flying above you, and a platelet ripped away. A paw barrels down over your chest, and you can see that where there would normally be 4 frontal claws, there are 4 toes and only 3 claws. And as it tears away for the last time, before your memory goes black, you see its lips furl, and it's missing one of its predominant canine fangs. There is a growl that shakes the dirt around you. And the last thing you see is a storm cloud. A flash of blue, and your memory fades. You don't know what it was. You have no idea if you succeeded in aiding your allies, if you did any damage to goblins. Your best guess is that you might have. But you're not capable of being able to aid them any further for at least the moment. You're stuck with your thoughts, lulling somewhere between memory and death. Your body begins to grow more and more cold. Hours have passed in this form. You know that you still have a few hours before the night is over, remaining in this form. You feel a presence near you. Not the same. You can hear a crunching of soil, sticks around you as it seems to circle. Before finally, a figure moves up and flinches open one of your eyes. Give me a perception check. It takes you a moment to focus before you can see. It's Phistopheles. Malice, Malice. What a mess you are in. You let him take over. Just because I gave you his powers doesn't mean that your time is now. It's in the contract. Here. And as he seems to show you, it begins to unfurl and it rolls across your body, dampening into your own blood. That's going to be such a mess. You can't die now. For reasons. A contract I must abide by, and it's not yours. Somebody else wants you alive for the time being. You're still valuable to someone. I wish I could tell you, but that's also a part of the contract. So for the time being, I will repose you. And I will alert someone that you're still alive. Not in this form, of course. And he flashes back to Mel, the man that you met originally. The almost vagrant-like homeless man.
The less cute one.
Yes. He seems to commit to a spell. It's very simple, but you no longer feel your body begin to bleed outward. Your vision remains, but your memory is only of watching the trees sway above you, hearing the flames flicker and the battle coming from the town a few hundred yards away. But this is where you'll lay for a few hours still. You still have no idea. You could ponder as to what you may have thought. You probably have some guesses or questions. Do you have any questions?
Nope. I know what it was, but Thelsa doesn't.
You know what it was. Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, I know what it was.
Sure. Let's hear it. What do you think you found? Or
It
fought?
was Klaus's relative. The dog that we met down once I killed the dragon that was in the flesh tunnel in Occipitous. And we were told that it was coming back under Nabby's control, and it was coming to regain all of the things it had lost. Its claw, its tail, and its eye, and its fang. But yeah, I didn't really anticipate running into it. But well, here we are.
Here we are. That's right. Here we are. Okay. Good stuff. So you ponder for a while, laying. You notice that you don't even breathe. In this space, all you do is exist. There is nothing. Your digestive stops. Your heart stops. Everything stops moving. Except your thought. It doesn't ever go away. And that's kind of all you're left with for a few hours. We pan back to the city. Do any of you say anything to Jenya? Not that Rahk knows, but I know that Ulhime is aware.
Yeah.
Jakob has at least met Jenya.
Once.
Seeing as she's able to move somewhat, then yeah, I would approach.
She doesn't know who you are.
Again.
She's not seen this immediate form. She may have recognized you had you not had metallic arm and some kind of hell-bent metal form arm. But now you're something truly different to her, and she has no idea whom you are.
Kind of taking a notice of that, I would look at her and say, "The last time you saw me, I was an orc. I wasn't this."
I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. You must forgive me.
My
That
name
times are
is
trying.
Ulhime.
Oh, I do know an Ulhime. You. Forgive me. We can catch up another time. There are many more things to deal with and handle than basic introductions.
If possible, as of right now, we need to get the people to safety. If possible, we can move them over to the barracks. It's walled off well enough. On top of that, we need to start figuring out how to deal with the fire and the wounded.
Well, there is nobody left of St. Cuthbert's. Everyone was killed.
whatever citizens we can find, but don't go alone.
Who do you send with her?
I would look over to Kiana and her men.
She's going to be light on men. Seeing
I know,
him-
but I'm not. I'm saying like they're going to need to go with her. Like we need to start getting people tended to.
You have any suggestions? Anybody can weigh in at this point.
Yeah, seeing as we're getting into the seeing as we're getting into the search and rescue phase, Jacob is going to turn to him and just point out, you should be the one going with her. You are the healer. You have the ability to go ahead and mend wounds, just like her. You can leave the fire. You can leave the fire to me, Rahk, and Cort as soon as we're able to get him on his feet.
Very well.
Kiana weighs in. I'll see to it that we strike the bell. The bell in town, and we'll have the remaining men. She calls out to each of you, come forward. They move in quickly. Bleed out to the criers if they still exist, if they're alive, if they've made it through this, that the only safe place in this space is the barracks. Come to the northwest portion of town. Do not take back alleys, take main streets, move in groups if you can. The men all nod, and they start breaking off. Some of them seem to head to the upper streets, some of them head to lower, and they begin to bang on doors, you can see as they're running. They go to the low streets when it comes to the fire, though, because most of the upper streets are on fire from this point, and the flames are rising. So I ask of you now, you have access to Dugobras, you have access to yourselves, if you're going to do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha is not there at your disposal. You also no longer have access to any up to this point. As a group, how are you collectively going to handle dealing with the flames?
Dougal Bros would go deal with the fires since he is immune to them. He can help break down the buildings without burning himself. And he could probably move in and out and help people that are in there. So I would say he's going with them to deal with that. If the mayor's still with us, I would say he comes to the barracks with us. So if there's any vampires nearby that are invisible, he can at least do his thing to cast. And I don't think the people are going to have a high-profile person go into a fire.
I definitely want a collective decision here. I'm not going to let Ronald just make all of the decisions for the group, so I will ask that everybody try to weigh in, at least.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I was actually thinking of Dougal Bros going through the fire areas to see if he can scout out and find clusters of survivors. Jakob would be able to, see about going in and out because he does have some resistances to flame.
Sure.
He would probably send Cort and, he would probably recommend Cort and Rahk once they're on their feet to move to the high streets and start just trying to demolish buildings or,
create a fire break of some kind.
Yeah, create a fire break of some kind, if at all possible.
Okay, so
the main thing is
we have at this point. It sounds like Jakob is going into basically firefighter mode. He wants to go in and try to rescue people. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because your body is slightly flame retardant, you want to go in and try to find survivors.
Yeah, we're gonna have Dougal Bros be doing the scouting and Jakob moving in and out as he can.
Don't grab them. Just scoop like a forklift. If you grab them, you're gonna cut them in half.
Huh. Okay.
What is Rahk doing?
Creating a fire break of some kind. Also, bucket brigade if needed. General assistance.
Sure. What did you have by the means of a fire break? What exactly? Just in case there are people that are watching from the chat, what do you mean by fire break?
Potentially, depending on how the setup is exactly. If there's like a street between, then we can dig some kind of ditch to prevent the fire from spreading further. But if it's just building to building, then likely destroying the building closest to the fire without actually it being on fire to prevent it from spreading further.
Okay, so we have Rahk and Dugobras on firebreak. What do you think Cort would be doing right now, since you're speaking for him?
I'm gonna say that he's assisting me. I'm gonna
Okay.
need extra hands doing what I'm doing.
I must bear in mind, as I say this, I'm asking because I'm going to levy percentages against your areas that you're paying less attention to. The less people you have working firebreak duty, the more opportunities you have at the fire spreading. The more people you have operating, acting as finding survivors, the less deaths you'll have as a community. So we have Cort also on firebreak. So we have Dugobras, Rahk, and Cort on firebreak. Kiana is heading to the town bell.
No, Dugobras was going to be, doing the search and rescue with Jakob.
Okay.
Yeah, he was going into fire territory.
Yeah, because he's immune to fire.
I ask because Dugobras is a little horrifying. He's like 11 feet tall, and he's made of charred flesh. Do you really want someone like that going in and trying to find children and, terrified women and men?
I don't know, guys. What do you think?
The town's on fire. Oh, look, a man made a fire. Let's trust him.
I mean, personally speaking, I'd say he's still going to do it because he's more capable.
Yeah, it's better to have him there, knowing that he can get people out if a building's completely engulfed. And the fact that he's strong enough to physically shatter like wood and stone like that, like Will was saying, if they need a fire break to be made, then he'd be even more helpful in doing.
Okay.
He'd be a good firefighter.
All right. So of your super crew, you no longer have access to the Blue Duke. Your soldiers are gone. The 5 soldiers that remain are scouting people out, trying to inform them that the city's on fire and move to the guardhouse. Kiana is ringing the bell. Jakob is finding survivors. Dugobras is finding survivors. Rahk is on firebreak. Cort is on firebreak. That leaves Ulhime.
Escorting Jenya to secure the barracks.
Okay.
And doing medical duties.
Will you be tending to medical duties? Is that your goal then?
I can do divine healing. My actual field healing is not all that great.
But
I'll do what I can.
Can the heal skill, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My actual heal skill is not that high, but I have divine healing if I need to use it.
Okay.
So if I need to, I'll assist her, if any of that.
All right. So you immediately charge in to the areas that you can find that are the most problematic. You realize that you have to go for the centralmost areas because the city is built and the weakest and most flammable resources the faster you descend into the town. The closer you get to Crater Lake is where you have the most flammable or destroyed substances that can be burned. As you ascend up, they do have more trees and things of the like, but there's more stonework in the buildings. Some of the walls are stone. There are panels that are made with certain types of clay that do not burn as easy. So is your focus, I ask for the Firebreak boys here, this is particularly going to Rahk and to Cort. Where is your aim? What is your target?
I guess the primary goal is to stop at spreading building to building. So wherever the densest, I guess, yeah, I mean the densest amount of structures that seem to be in danger is probably going to be where we start.
Well, there's a lot. As far as assessment goes, let's see. Let's take a look at your character sheet here.
Yeah, because I think with the way the fire was going, it was going from like a high lantern to high wand.
Give me a knowledge nature. That's really, really good. You do know that the largest threat is in the shanty, in the poorer side of town. Just looking at the sheer material that it's made of, the most valuable asset, the most valuable location for yourself to spend your resources and time upon is in Ash Avenue, Low Loot Street, Lava Avenue, places like this, where it starts becoming the poorer side of the neighborhood. Moving on up, it will take a little bit longer for it to spread out, as the houses actually have less density. They have more space between them. Looks like we just got Austin. So I'm going to correct some things. Give us just a moment here.
Yeah, I would say that the major impetus should be to keep the fires from going any further down into the crater. And then moving north and south of the fire area to kind of contain it. Losing a block of the city is okay, so long as it's not going all the way down into the lower end, circling all around, and then rising.
Okay, realizing this, Rahk, you realize that you're going to have to do, some damage to break some of these buildings down, those that are on fire. They don't really have a lot of tenured supports. Most of them are built with walls, but not many in the way of load-bearing beams. Most of them are very small. You can see that they're burning. Hell, a lot of the roofs are made out of, like, hay hatch, so this is probably the area that demands the most attention. I'm going to give you and Cort an opportunity here to succeed in this. You're not going to have any help, however, so it's likely it's going to be a little rough. I'm going to grant each of you a 20% bonus chance of succeeding here, and I'm going to give you a static 10 because of your exceptional role and knowledge nature of understanding how the flame might work. So it's really going to come down to a 50-50 in this case. In your favor.
Hi.
Okay.
Damn.
28. Cort, give me a 50-50.
Alright, we'll go low. Hey,
It rolled onto 80, and that second
Saw that.
dice.
I got terrified, and I was like, no.
That second dice knocked it back. I was like, what? Okay. Alright, so as far as fire ticks go, this is how it's going to work. We're going to have... Okay. So we have one on each side. The two of you are working diligently so, trying to make the most of this, and you seem to be doing a significant amount of damage to the buildings that are layered up on Lava Avenue. You know, most of the flames haven't quite reached Ash yet, but it's because Sasha took most of the important swing on the highest levels up to this point. Give me another 100% range.
100% range?
Alright, excuse me, 50% range. 50-50.
0 to 100.
That's actually 101%, dick.
I'm gonna go high again.
Okay.
It's a mistake, but I'm doing it.
It's not a mistake. Very good.
The roof is on fire.
Shorty burning down the dance floor. Whoa.
Cort, 50-50.
Oh, whoa.
Wait, what's this? I'm gonna go low. Oh, fuck.
Not this time.
That's what you get. Fucker.
Essentially, I'm rock paper scissorsing this scenario here, just in the idea of which side gets the most ticks first. This is based off of your success rates here. So, Rahk, give me another. It's first to 5. 50-50 chance. Rahk, what do you think?
Go with the opposite of what you're thinking. Deny your gut feeling. Be tempted into the dark side. Be a cat.
High.
There it is. Now we'll fucking.
Very good. Cort.
Let's go low. Motherfucker.
So far, it's even. First to 5, and it's 3 to 3. Rahk. 50-50. 57 again. Good guess.
I am going to be
Cort.
stead firm in my devotion. It's low.
I thought you were just gonna say I'm gonna be high.
Oh my god! That couldn't have. It could have been higher.
4 to
I
4.
hate it.
Next call gets it. Who wants to take that that guess?
Oh, definitely will. Not me. Will gets that bad juju.
You know where I'm going.
I don't actually. I don't.
I'm going home.
Going real high.
Real high. It's gonna be a 3. 90. Very good.
Thank God.
Very good. In your favor. Okay. Give me a 25% range, please.
1 to 25.
Hey.
Oh!
I got my fucking mojo back. Let's go.
After last game, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're back from sniper.
Give me a 10% range. This is something you don't want.
I'm gonna go 81 to 90.
Okay, you're good.
Nailing it.
Very good. You're going to have high success. The damage that you two put in, despite everything else, is substantial. It's going to take time, a significant amount at that. You're going to need many days of rest following these events, but between the two of you,
Stay a while,
pushing in
listen.
the various amount of homes, breaking down walls, you have slight bucket detail from some peasants that are going to be offering. They're trying to mash out as much as they possibly can. You will inevitably have a very small handful of people that are coming out and they're using things like controlled water. They're trying to spread the buckets as best as they possibly can. Admittedly, it's not quite as good as a solid rainfall or like a fire truck, but you gotta deal with what you got.
Man, fucking magicians. Can't use summon fire truck. What good are they?
Fire
Really
truck
useless
just
when they didn't get
drives
that
through the
spell.
ground.
Summon fire truck.
I was really holding out for it, and they just didn't give it to us.
We're gonna go to our Survivor series over here. It's gonna be Jakob, and I'm gonna put Any in the hot seat here. You're gonna be functioning as Dugobras for the moment. So you're gonna get to
Alright, I
guess
like
his
it.
luck rolls. Since
Yeah.
there are two of you, I'm gonna give you an opportunity here. Give me a 20% range that you do want.
Let's go 60 to 80.
Okay,
That was not good.
you're right. It was not good. Wasn't necessarily bad though, however. It's okay. We're going to our survivors. %40 range. We're gonna start with Jakob. A 40% range that you do want. Again, it's first to 5 points.
Let's go 30 to 70.
Okay.
Not doing well tonight.
So far, so bad. Dugobras, Any. 40% range.
High. Up to 100.
Got it. That's
Not high.
not high. You're right. Next round.
Will, I want my dice back.
40% range. Jakob.
20 to 60.
Very good. Annie.
Hi again.
Bad. Jakob. 40% range.
30 to 70. Wow, I got my dice back, yeah.
Annie.
Hi again.
Hi, he says. Hello. Very good. Is this the comeback? Oh, wait, it's Sniper. Let's see what you got, buddy. 40% range.
1 to 40. Watch him roll 100.
Oh, it rolled off 20. It rolled off 20. Okay. That was it. Your chances aren't terrible, but it's not necessarily in your favor. The survivors are thin. You're only able to save a few lives, at least on this immediate portion of the street. We're going to move up to Ulhime. Ulhime, given your circumstance, you have Jenya. You have a few other parishioners that seem to be operating out of other churches or Free State clerics, and yourself. Along with that, there are others that are offering assistance in the way of granting successes based on bringing clean linen, clean water, things of that nature. Admittedly, it's a little challenging, but we're going to give it an opportunity here. You actually have higher in favor because yourself is going to be granted 20. Jenya is going to be granted 20. The free parishioners and the clerics are also going to offer 20. You have a 60% chance of success in saving many people. So, this is going to come down to just you here, Ronald. %60 chance of success. Give it to me.
1 to 60.
Got it. One to 60. Not it. Give me another 60%.
Same thing.
Okay. It's 1 and 1. Disregard that. Choose the next 60%. Or are you just going to maintain?
Yeah, I'll just maintain.
Okay. Alright, here we go. So, 1 to 60. Good. 1 to 60. Good. 1 to 60. Bad. So we're 3 to 2. 1 to 60. Good. And this could be the game-winning point for you. 60%. Are we still moving with 1 to 60? Okay. Very good. You actually saved more lives than lives lost. You only had very, very few deaths. Most of the people that had any injuries were just burns. Luckily. At least those that managed to survive the onslaught. In this first initial round, this is how this went. Jakob and Dugobras were only capable of finding 20% of the survivors in the area. This is round 1. Cort and Rahk were able to do damage, but there was some initial spread. Since they're working from the lower side line, moving up, the spread is happening most on Obsidian Avenue. It is admittedly taking a little longer to give the spread itself, but you're working down this initial pizza slice. So you have success with some spread in round 1. And the healed. Ulhime only suffered 10% loss of the people that he found. 5% were gone before he even got there. They drugged their injured there. So the other 5 that lost themselves along the way was pretty bad circumstances. It's very good, all things considered. You saved 90% of the people that entered through the gates. We're gonna go to round 2 in damage control. I had to ask. You guys never dictated where the mayor went.
Yeah, I asked him to come with me.
You want him to go with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, like I said, if there was vampires nearby, I wanted him to be the one to scan the area to see if he can pop them out.
Okay, so you're technically offering him surveil then.
Correct.
All right, I'll actually grant you an additional 10% success on your next rounds, so long as he maintains. Okay. Since we're in the second round, will anybody be changing places at all? Each of you offer circumstantial bonuses in places that you may or may not be aware of.
As of right now, I mean, do I still have people? I still have people coming in, right?
Yes, people will still be continuing.
Do I look like a liger to you?
If it starts slowing down, I would help the mayor surveil the area to make sure there's no unwarranted attacks.
Okay, so you're going to maintain with the mayor then. Also, your brother is fucking bizarre. I'm pretty sure I just heard him say, do I look like a liger?
No, he said liar. He
Oh,
said,
a
I am
liar.
a truther afterwards.
I definitely thought he
Yeah.
said liger. I was like, that's a bit of a stretch, but all right, we'll go with that.
It's
We'll go with that.
2019, we can't.
I ain't calling you a truther. All right. Anybody else changing? Do we see Rahk or Cort
Given-
move to Survivors, or Jakob or Dugabras move to Firebreak?
Seeing as we're not having too much success, and I am seeing that the fire is starting to spread, I would go ahead and have Dugabras assist Rahk and Cort. I mean, if either of them want to go ahead and join Jakob in the search, I'll be able to go ahead and give them a protection from energy, just to kind of give them a bit of, a bit more of a fire coat, so to speak. But
Sure.
Is it just me, or both of those, both sending Dougal Bro and giving us fire cloaks? I feel like that's the opposite, and trying to do what
Maybe,
we're trying to
but
do.
this is a collective decision as a group. You guys should
Yeah.
probably dictate what you want to do here. You may not be around each other, but there are still NPCs on the field that you can move around and weigh your argument with each other.
Everyone's running away from me and dying, so I'm gonna swap out. I guess they think your fire elemental
Okay.
is scary.
yeah, I think you can just do a better job of knocking down buildings and,
Yeah, I'm gonna go join the Bang Bros.
Got it. They got the bang van is up the hill. Actually, you're good to
right.
go.
This is a weird episode of the Property Brothers.
Oh God.
Things are going to
I don't
change
remember this one.
in regards to the success of the fire breaks. We have 20% for Rahk, 20% for Cort. I will need to see another success on Knowledge Nature. Very good.
How's
Your
that?
DC is 30 because you're freely trying to fight and move against the flame that's moving. You have an additional 10% there. You're going to get 20% from Dugabras. And because he is of the fire plane,
Ooh.
he's going to grant you an additional 5%.
Hey, limo.
75%.
So you have a 75% chance of success rate. Remember, you guys have no luck rerolls up to this point. Thank you so much, Karami, for those 22 months, my guy. 22 months is a long time. But you have less of a chance of success finding survivors. It suddenly goes to a 20% chance of succeeding. So, we're going to start with Firebreak in round 2.
Break. Oh, yeah.
You guys will be able to do this now. It's still the first of 5. 75% range, and we'll start with Will. What's happening with Rahk? Give me a 75% range.
26 to 100.
Got it.
Damn.
Unlucky. We'll go to Dugabras.
I'm just gonna go same, 26 to 100.
Wow. Unlucky. Cort, 75% range.
It goes 1 to 76. That's great. 75?
75.
Yeah, 1 to 75.
Okay.
Whew.
That
Very
80
good.
almost scared me.
Yeah, very good. Back to not Klaus. Rahk.
26 to 100 again. That looks better.
It does look better. Doogie Browser.
10 to 85.
Wow! It's 3 to 2 in favor of more fire. This is this is not good. Oh, all right. Cort.
0 to 70 or 1 to 75. My bad.
You got it.
I'll get it right eventually. At some
Lucky,
point.
lucky. It's even. 3 to 3. First to 5.
26 to 100 again.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Will.
shit.
The luck rolls, man. They coming. I hope. Doogie.
Yep, low up. 1 up.
1 up. It's 4 to 4. No
Except for you,
pressure, Cort.
Yeah, except for all of the pressure. Let's
Under
go.
pressure.
I
Yeah,
just want
1
to
to
point out that
75.
if the city continues to just like burn on, it's not my fault.
They'll find a way to put you in the news for
It's
it.
still your fault.
We'll plant some matches on you.
What do you think, Red?
Is it 1 to 74? Wait, 1 to 75. There we go. One of these
God
times.
damn.
Lowering it a little bit.
That's
of-
a real math
The
place on this
struggle.
spot.
Yeah, no shit. The struggle is
8
rough.
to
Okay, 1 to 75. Oh my god, it rolled off of an 80. I was like,
I
"Ugh."
saw that.
Bless up.
Punched a little bit.
You had additional spread in the lower rows, but you managed to succeed in putting out the flame without it spreading on your current row. Very good. Thank you, Ryu, for the host, my guy. I appreciate that. So you've moved up lava, and now magma. Magma is good. You move to obsidian when we get back to you, so you guys will be working on obsidian. Bear in mind, obsidian is much larger at this point. This is where you've had the largest amount of growth. Your chances of success are dwindling, but that'll be round 3.
Dwindling success, my favorite.
Now, we're gonna go to Survivor Series. Wiz, thank you for the host, my guy.
Hi.
It's first to 5 here. You have a 20% chance of success.
Oh, and I'm trying to think if there is anything that could go ahead and improve those odds. I don't think there is.
There's not a lot. The odds are definitely stacked against you here.
But hey, you know, I'm used to failing, right?
Sure. 20% range.
Okay, 20% range to start off. 40 to 60.
Dilby, thank you so much for the host and the raid, my guy. Much appreciated. Welcome in, Dilby. Guys, can we get some love for Dilby and his raiders? Spam some emotes. Show them some love. Sniper, 20% range.
30 to 50.
Very good. 20% range.
30 to 50. I should have done it. I was going to go down another 10 step.
20% range.
Let's go 50 to 70. Ah!
So close. So close. 20% range.
50 to 70 again.
20% range.
40 to 60.
Very good. It's definitely good that you got another point there. 20% range.
Uh, 60 to 80.
Oh, so close. So close. The survivor rating has dropped yet again. It's not looking good. At least in this area. Healers. Your previous success rate was 60. Because you have someone watching and guiding people into lines, that's the mayor, I'm going to grant you an additional 10. So Ronald.
Yes.
70% range.
1 to 70.
70% range.
Same thing.
You just going to stay these numbers?
Yeah.
Oh my god, right on 70, perfect. We have 1 fail. 2 successes. 3 successes, 1 fail. 4 successes, 1 fail. Don't know why that rolled twice. 5 successes, 1 fail. You did even better this time. Some casualty, 5% of the people that came in this round were lost. Most of them gone before they even got there. You're able to save many people, though. And in the last round, this is where things get a little harder. The rolls are a little crazy tonight, yeah, right, Brock? Your success rate, what was it before in the fire break?
75.
75. You're now looking at twice the area. You have to spread your resources. It's 3 of you, excuse me, against twice the area.
Good thing I'm good at spreading out my resources, if you know what I mean.
I don't, and I don't want to know. Keep it to yourself. This isn't that kind of show.
Zip it back up.
You're about 10% off there.
Because you have to move, tell me how you'd like to do this. Are you going to choose a side and fight it running across, or are you going to split up and try to attack this the same way that the goblins attack the town?
I feel like splitting up would be an awful idea. That's my personal input. I think we should listen to the age-old adage of don't split the party.
What do you think, Dugabras? Rock?
I agree that we probably shouldn't split, but at the same time, we can stop the spread on one end and then immediately would have to run to the other end to stop the spread over there.
If the rolls are in our favor.
I'm the
true.
biggest boy. You two go to one side and I'll go to the other.
Okay, so you're going to fight fires from both ends.
Would love to hear Dugabras say, "I'm the biggest boy."
I'm the biggest boy.
Oh god.
I'm not sure if that was
From the
Dugabras or if that was Graves.
Grace doesn't fight fires.
Yeah,
Just
he
Eiffel Tower this. No, just
has
Eiffel
a
Tower this
firefighter skin if you look hard enough.
True. It's the pool boy skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's it. Or, I mean, he's always got his riot skin. He can just beat the shit out of the flame.
Stop resisting!
Yeah, no joke.
Don't do it, Sniper. We know
All
you're
right.
thinking it. Don't do it.
I'm going to give you guys here a deficit because you're splitting your forces, but it's not going to be as dramatic as it was. I was going to cut it by half. Instead, which would have been, you guys had a 75% chance of success, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to give you a 45% chance of success. You're fighting a larger fire, a longer period of time. Odds are stacked against you, but I think you can do it. So 45% range. Rock.
1 to 45.
1 to 45. Very good. Dugabras.
1 to 45.
95. Unlucky. Cort.
10 to 55.
Unlucky.
We did it. I think.
Back to the beginning. Rock.
We go. See if I can do some quick math here. 56 to 100.
Got it. This is looking a little more grim. Dugabras.
Low. Up to 45.
definitely looking more grim.
56 to 100 for me.
Very good. Is this
We
the
did it,
pullback?
guys. We saved the town.
Is this the pullback? Rock.
No, this is...
I'm staring down the barrel of a 45. I'm gonna go 1 to 45.
Down the barrel of 1 to 45. It's 82. You fucking looked down the wrong barrel.
Swimming
lad.
through the ashes.
of all of the lives. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna need from you at this point, because it was such real shite in this case, and it's gonna be hard as threat. I need a... It's gonna be 3 of you. 30% range. Any one of you can take this. You don't want it.
I'm giving it to Cort.
You said 13%?
No.
30.
30?
It's a 30% range you don't want.
We'll go low.
What is low again?
Oh. What, 1 to 30?
Okay, just checking with you. Oh.
I had a feel about that.
Oh.
Bad is the answer.
So how about them rerolls, fans?
I
Come support us on myonlyfans.com.
I like how you
Get
called them
rerolls today.
fans in that moment. Hey, fans!
What up, fam? We're here again with the burning down of the Shackled City. Like, comment, and subscribe while we turn this town to ash.
All right. Now, I need a 33% range. Let's say... You know what? It's going to come down to this. I'm going to roll a D3. 1 is Rahk. 2 is Dugobras. 3 is Cort.
Okay, let's hope it lands on Dougal, bro.
I mean, he is dying anyway, so.
Yes, that's exactly why I was like, hey, let's hope he takes it. I
Okay.
don't need my leg permanently broken.
Okay.
Can you hear husbando's under danger?
I know.
I can hear the danger bongos in the distance.
I'm scared.
Survivors. This has not gone in your favor the entire time. But that's okay. You have a 20% range. You're muted.
You got this.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi guys. 20% range. All right. 25 to 45.
1 fail.
50 to 70.
2 fails.
50 to 70.
3 fails.
20 to 40.
Oof. 4 fails.
80 to 100.
Five fails. That's catastrophic failure.
Yeah. In the great words of Spaceballs, we ain't found shit.
We're gonna have a city with no citizens at this rate.
20%
Range
range.
to ourselves? Hell yeah.
Give me one last
Guys,
20%
guys.
range that you do want.
— 20 to 40.
Okay. The healed
I'm kind of losing out hope here.
to the top side. In the last round, you've had a major influx of survivors making their way to the guard. Your resources are running thin. There are more people than you know what to deal with. The other clerics are beginning to panic. Your chances of success have dwindled. It's gone from 70% to a 35% range.
For divine healing, if I was to burn the remaining of my spells, would that offset it in any way?
Would you be taking any damage from your... Oh, no, that's just channel, so your divine healing. Yeah, I'm assuming that you're using all of your divine healing.
Like I'm converting every one of my spells is what I mean.
Sure, yeah. I just assumed you were doing that anyway.
Oh, yeah. Unless bolstering aura can help in some way. I don't know if that would
I'll give you a 5%.
help them.
Because you'll be assisting your allies here, so that'll put you back to 40% chance of success.
Outside of that... I'll probably use one spell to cast Aid on Jenya, which would give her temporary HP and, whatchamacallit, hold on. It's a morale bonus, but it's attacks and saves. It's not really skills.
Okay.
So I don't know if that would do anything, though.
We won't grant a bonus for that, so you're stuck at 40 for the time being.
That's fine.
This isn't something that happens in like 6 seconds. This is like looking at hours of work, pouring everything you have into this. So, the other clerics are running out of spells. The clean water is starting to come back in less and less, and they're telling you that they're running out. They don't have enough time to make cleaner water. The linens are becoming fewer and far between. You're forced to reuse some things, which is completely unsanitary. Things are a little rough right now. So 40% range. First to 5.
1 to 40.
Good. So more healed. 40% range.
Same thing.
1 to 40. 94. Same thing?
Yeah.
Do you maintain it?
Yeah.
It's 1 to 1 in favor. Let's find out. 2 fails, 1 success. 3 fails, 1 success. 4 fails, 1 success. 4 fails, 2 success. 5 fails, 2 success. And in that last round, I want you to give me a 40% range that you do want.
I'll still keep it.
Low. Very good. Actually, that's in good favor. So this is what this last round looks like for each of you. The 3 of you that are fighting the fires, descending, or in this case, ascending back up to the top of the bowl, the way that this is working. You split. Cort and Rahk tackled the far left side. You send Dugulbras to the far right. He's fighting his way in to the best of his ability. He's giving everything that he's got, as are you. Each of you are literally on the dregs of whatever fuel remains inside of you. You're breaking down buildings. You're still splitting with whatever pails or buckets can be carted up. And you have a few light spellcasters that can control water in the direction of the flame. There's not very many buildings up this area. This is Obsidian Avenue, so you're seeing lots of things on... This is essentially nobles. Some of their houses are going to burn. Some of them you're going to have to break down walls that are beginning to catch flame. Most of the controlled water is being put onto the thatched roofs, those that aren't quite as fireproof.
Go in there and cut off their heads.
Minimum damage, but Dugulbras is not having as good a time. He's fighting the best that he possibly can, trying to weave away, but the trees in the area in this small grove here have caught on fire. As he's fighting against the flames, the element of his own bloodline. A tree that had been previously struck, or almost attempted to be chopped. Not entirely sure what it happens to be at the time, but the flames bring it down. The burning tree smashes into the roof of a building, and as the building seems to topple, the roof itself falls down with it. You're not sure what's happened to Dugobras up to this point, aside from the fact that one of the nobles' homes were brought down on top of him. You continue fighting and cutting a swath in the flames across Obsidian Avenue, from west to east, before finally making it to the last bit of flames, which is in this entire grove. And that's when you see part of Dugobras' head. Just visible enough. His hair still whips and flicks with flame. But stone and wood have crashed down on top of him. What do? Cort, Rahk.
Immediately attempt to free him.
Kind of in the same boat. Dougalhauser is pretty cool.
Okay. The men that are assisting you, they don't have any more water. They'll have to cart it back down to Crater Lake, which could take a few minutes.
Yep.
The stone has been scorched, but there's a large burning tree laying across the fallen stone wall. What do? Do you deal with the flame? Do you resist the fire? Like, what exactly do you try to do here in this case?
How roaring is the fire? Is it like the whole branch is just engulfed?
Yeah, it's the top of the tree. The plumage of the tree itself is burning.
I was gonna say kick some sand on it, but I don't think that'll work in that case.
It's a lot of sand.
Pocket sand.
Go think. Cort in that moment would turn, spread his legs, lean down, and try to kick sand like a dog.
I was worried you were going to say something else when you started with spread his legs, but I'm glad that's where it went.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Knowing that we can't really stop the fire unless Will has some magic that I am unsure of. I don't remember water class barbarians, but I could be proven wrong.
There's a tribe of them.
Yeah, somewhere out there. We could probably try to free him first.
Yeah, I'm thinking the stone is going to be the place to start.
Nice hot warm stone.
Okay.
Crack it to pieces.
If you're just going to deal with the tree that's laying on top of the stone, then I'm going to give you guys some latent damage. It's just going to be burning here. But it's something in an effort to save this individual who's been helping you. Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Given the sheer size of the fire, it's just going to be 2d6 a round. But this is very, very heavy. You're talking a large stone wall from a noble's building. A large tree on top of it. You're probably looking in the ballpark of about 2,000 pounds.
Good thing we're big buff boys.
Yep, luckily enough. Rahk, do you rage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Hans and Franz over here.
I'm going to set the DC on this at 40. Combined efforts will add your strength rolls together. Go for it.
That's right, I'm not a strong boy. I was a strong boy, I'm no longer a strong boy.
That's really good. Oh my god.
Yeah,
in that
it's
moment,
because I have the -8 modifier to my strength.
It's the strength.
Ooh,
in that
rough.
moment, when you
I'm going more to its system, if that counts for anything.
oh, that's a little rough. That's a little rough. But you still have you just rolled poorly more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's close. The two of you are able to just barely lift this. You get it probably 6 or so inches off of the ground. Rahk, you know that you are at breath's thread here. You can't go any further with this. I'll give you both an opportunity to stabilize on your roll. I'll set it at a fortitude. I'll need a will save following it. So Rahk, fortitude into a will save.
Wait, was that just for Will?
That's for will right now, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fortitude, good. Give me a will save.
Ooh, not great.
It's not great. I'll set that at an even or odd in your favor.
Even.
It's odd.
Motherfucker.
Okay. You're physically resisting or dealing with the amount of flames that are just licking over your face and body up to this point as you're heaving the stone up, but In the instance of you maintaining this, if the flames are not there, you could just hold this in place and allow Cort to readjust himself. However, the fire is just too much. You drop it back down. As far as damage goes, take 10 points of damage. Singeing all of the hair off of your upper arms, any seemingly chest hair or like shoulder, anything like that, just seems to lick over. Your eyebrows gone, beard is beginning to singe away at this point. Try again? Or do you wait for aid?
No, I'm giving another shot.
Okay. DC 40. It's really good. You need a 13 for an even or odd. A 14 for a success.
We don't have any rerolls, eh?
Yeah, can someone up onto that? Because fuck. I'm helping, I think.
You look over and he's...
I
don't
lifting,
know, Rahk!
Oh man, Rahk, this rock's really heavy, man. Oh.
I'm lifting, and you're just like standing on the other end, and I'm lifting.
No, tilt it sideways. No, you're my left.
Pivot.
Not your left.
He's actually just laying on the ground,
Yeah, no,
pushing
it's-
up with his feet.
I like to think that he's like, what am I doing wrong? As he's jumping on it instead.
I'm like leaning on it with one shoulder, like, man, I just don't know why this is working.
Rahk, give me a fortitude. I'll set it at a lower DC this time. Because you've already succeeded in it once. Good. Give me a will save. That is not good. Again, the fire licks over the top of you.
My namesake is failing me.
8.
At this point, I think Rahk should just beat the fire out with Cort. Just like grab
Punch that
my
fire out
heel.
of its existence.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'll pull out my sword, you pull out yours, and we'll get Dugobras out of this.
Is
16
Dugobras
pieces.
Yes,
unconscious?
he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
he out.
I just wasn't sure if he was just like
know-
or if he was unconscious.
You mentioned beating the fire out, but that actually gave me an idea. What would be the potential to hurt Dugobras if I were to try to break this tree in half?
Depends if you're hitting it straight down or not.
Smacking into him.
If you had some sort of tool that you could hook the tree, it's likely that you could pull the tree off the top of him, making your own checks easier. But you
I'm just
probably
thinking-
wouldn't just grab a flaming tree. As far as damaging the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, with your weapon, yes, you will deliver kinetic force through. You will no longer just be... You will literally be your name. Crusher of Bones.
Look, sometimes you gotta break a few bones to get your friends out of
I mean,
trouble.
yeah, I'd
Boys
like to break
are
the
boys.
tree because it's going to make it easier to lift in 2 pieces rather than just one giant piece.
I'll offer you a devil's bargain here.
Okay. My ears are open.
You can take an attack on the tree. A sidelong golf swing. If you succeed in breaking 10, and you're capable of dealing over 20 points of damage, you can drive the tree off, making your lift easier. But regardless of the situation, if you succeed in doing this, you're driving the tree into the noble's home.
Oh, fuck him. Who
What,
cares?
what noble is it?
Is it anyone that we're friends with?
The chances of you knowing at
I
this
ain't friends
point,
with nobody.
you guys aren't exactly. He's not friends with anybody. And Cort,
It's the mayor's house.
It's maybe.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Is this something you're willing to do? Are you going to take the bargain?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely willing.
So if you fail,
You dead.
you could do some bad things here. But this is going to happen.
Good.
So let's see what you got. Make an attack. Just don't critical fail.
Don't fail, friend.
Ah, damn. Its AC was 45. Almost.
Shit, you missed.
Okay. Give me damage.
All right.
Oh my god.
72 as if it was a crit. So.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that'd be a nasty fucking crit.
27. It's very good. Cort, you're struggling with this, and you see Rahk just like hit this point break where he's tired of literally fighting against the fire that's not assisting either of you. For the record, you're both taking that damage. whatever the 8 and the 10.
Yeah, did we get healed after we
Yeah,
did
you
the
guys.
thing?
There was 21. Both of you were healed for at least 21 before you ran
Okay.
off.
Thank God, because I was at 1 HP.
You see him move over? Oh, and you've just taken
I'm at
18.
because I didn't know that.
Well, you were at. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so
yeah, I
22.
didn't know that we got healed, so that's why
Perfect.
I was like, whew, that was real
Rahk moves
close.
over with his Earthbreaker and takes a sidelong swing, sort of like what you would see out of Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle, driving this tree from the side, splitting it in the birth of its trunk. The top half, the flaming plumage, is now inside of the noble's home. But as he strikes, you see leaves go off in every direction. Bits of cherry seem to burst out, catching tapestry, table, chairs, anything that could be flammable and of age on fire. But your DC is now 30.
All right, back at it with the strength check.
Damn,
boy.
Daniel. Combination.
Jesus
God
Christ.
damn it.
You just took it out of you. You're a little winded.
Just
Just taking a breather, hold on.
Still no rerolls.
I like
Call
I
him
like
out now.
the idea that you're just lifting and then lowering it back down on him. And just like you're working out right now.
I'm curling, man.
Yeah, you're
Look,
curling.
he missed arm day because of the vampires. He needs to get this in now.
Go for it. Another shot.
Oh my
What the
God.
fuck?
Okay.
What the fuck is this shit? This
I
is
made this
literally
shit
both of our
easier,
main
and now it's
stats.
harder.
One more failure and rough stuff is probably going to happen.
Finally.
Let
I
you
did
go
something.
first on that one.
Cort got an 18.
Thank God.
There we go.
We're
You
useful.
beat, you beat 40. Good job, guys.
It took 5 attempts. But you finally did it after about a minute of struggling. Flames now dancing inside of the home. You were able to lift this stone wall off of Dugabras. It's an unfortunate experience that you see now since you've managed to clear his body from it, breaking the stone away. His arm separated from his body. His dominant blacksmithing arm.
Good thing he's not gonna need it much longer.
Where blood would be pouring, flame seems to almost bleed out onto the gravel and dirt. Yeah, we can totally glue it back. That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with Dugabras?
Probably try to drag him away from the flaming buildings and sort of,
Into the open.
yeah, away from the immediate danger and where somebody can easily access him to assist later on. But for the moment, our focus is still on stopping the fire from spreading further. At least my focus is. I don't know about Cort.
Cort would be assisting because Cort's not fucking doing well tonight.
Would you take him to the guard barracks? Knowing that's where Ulhime is, knowing that Ulhime is treating the injured, the ill, those that are dying.
Approximately how far away is it?
It's the other side of town.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
You managed to put out the fires.
Are there any giant carts nearby?
There is a cart nearby, actually. The problem is, inside of that
Big
cart
enough.
are buckets with water that are being carted in your direction.
Shit, why'd they have to bring the water? Fuck.
Do you
Even
empty?
worse.
Do you empty the carts of the buckets and then lay him in? I mean, the problem is not so much that you can move him, but his body is bleeding flame.
Yeah.
A wooden cart, that's gonna ignite.
True.
I mean,
Send
if
it in
the
daily life again.
if the
We
fire
can
has
just dip his
stopped,
stub into a bucket.
sure. If the fire has stopped spreading at this point, then my focus would be on getting Dugabras back to somebody who can heal him. So I'll likely try to fireman's carry him back to the guard barracks.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. You guys know I teleported to you earlier. You know it. I did it right in front of you. How far away am I from these two?
Not far. You're probably fighting in the same area.
Now, I would say that if I didn't notice this on my own, I would imagine one of them is wise enough to say, that guy uses magic.
I mean...
You're assuming a lot of a raging barbarian half-orc.
Cort, however, does know this.
And Cort.
Yeah. Do I know that Jared's within the, vicinity?
Oh yeah, he's been following the line with you the entire time.
Then yeah, I'd probably go to him, because it's either him or Thelsa, I believe.
Well, technically, I am Thelsa, so... when it comes to spellcasting right now...
You're nowhere near as pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
my
don't have
tits
the
are
gaping flesh wounds and the boiling pits on your face.
You didn't tackle a giant lightning dog.
Okay.
We'd probably try to bring him to Jared then and see what the homie has to say about the homie.
Sure.
Well,
Jared...
good luck finding Jared.
No,
Excuse
yeah,
me,
we're
Jacob,
gonna go find Jared.
even I did it. Jacob, you'll see that they're struggling a great deal. Noble's home is caught on fire up to this point. It's likely that none of them were inside. You're not seeing anybody exit, but you can see from the side over the fence that there is a burning tree and wall. As you run over, Rahk draws his weapon and he takes a strike at this tree, splitting it through the center, driving the tree further into the home, thus causing more flames. Do you walk over to them? You can't quite see what they're doing.
Certainly, I'd probably go ahead and wonder why the hell the half-orc is, smashing a tree.
Sure, you move over. By the time you arrive, they finally removed the wall from Dugelbras, and you can see that his arm has been separated from his body. He's bleeding flame.
Oh, that's not good.
No, not really.
You overhear Cort say, "Is there a cart nearby?"
Oh, jeez, Rick. You're gonna need a cart.
Yeah, seeing that he is wounded, he is going to take a quick look around to see if there's one of the healers or menders nearby, and not seeing one, he's just going to run up, grab the arm, put a hand on the arm and Dugelbras, and just teleport straight to the guardhouse.
Got it. Very good. So you did take the arm, though.
Yeah, we're taking, he's got a hand on the arm and a hand on
Got it.
Dugelbro.
So what about the other two? What are you guys doing now?
Probably going back to finding the fire.
A little befuddled, to be honest.
There's not going to be any more fire to fight. You guys
Who the fuck was that guy?
literally went through the town as the Hammer Bros, just taking it to each building until it was put out.
Except the fire that just started inside the noble's head.
That's true.
Let that one sit.
Would you
That's
try?
fine. Cort would try to put that out, probably.
Okay. All right.
Once we're clear of the fire for that first moment after he teleports him away, I'd like to drink a health potion.
You got it. Go for it. I'll give you guys the rest of this opportunity to clear out any remaining fires that are a little bit still trying to thrive. You'll treat the Noble's home as well, since it's the last primary point of flame, and it's going up. You put the flame inside the house, shit's gonna happen. We're gonna backpedal just a second, and we're gonna move to Jacob. Jacob's experience. His catastrophic failure.
I just kind of whistle and stroll through to the music of screams.
48, right? Or for cure crit.
Yeah, cure crit is 48 plus 7.
Thank you.
Jacob, you're moving about the homes, yelling, trying to get everyone out, ushering people out of their homes. You come up to one of the last few homes that's probably just before Obsidian Avenue. It is a red-rimmed home, and it seems to have a steeple atop of it. You don't really make much more in its design, other than that the moment you open the door, there are 3 people there. Your clothing is licked in flames. You see a young boy, a woman probably in her late 20s, early 30s, and an elderly man. The woman has what looks to be a load-bearing beam that has fallen across her. It is pinned against a stone wall and the side of the room. It does not look favorable. Fire is wrapping around the ceiling, dancing down any tapestries that may hang in the home. And you see it's moving quickly to the banister that lay over the top of her. It's porous, old.
It's punkwood. Pretty
It
much,
looks like
at
it's
this
going to burn quickly.
Yeah, it's punky.
The man is trying. He's not as strong as he used to be. He's doing everything in his power. The boy is crying. Between his sobs, you hear him say, "Mama!" and this, "Mama!" And the old man is still giving everything that he's got. He's not quite a young buck as he once was, but he's trying with everything that he has. Throwing his shoulder into it. His feet are lifted up to the ground where it looks almost like he's in what you might guess is a push-up stance, throwing his shoulder into this. He's struggling. You've seen things like this before. She's pinned. You're not so sure, given your own abilities, that you're going to succeed in saving this woman. She looks unconscious. She has a heavy wound on her head. Blood saturates the carpet beneath her. The carpet of which is now starting to burn.
Would I be able to do, like, just a quick knowledge engineering to get a rough idea as to how much weight is on top of her?
You could venture a guess.
Alright, here we go. And this is basically just like a flat knowledge.
It's real fucking heavy. You don't think it's even that... It may not be salvageable whatsoever. This man's life, this child's life, will be worth more than trying to save this woman who might actually already be dead. Give me a heal while you're at it.
Sure. Also not great. Jesus!
You don't think she's alive. There is no fluctuation in the chest. There is no twitch or twinge in the fingers whatsoever. Her eyes do not flutter. She is, at the very least, unconscious. But you see no breath.
All right. So, given that I'm just kind of flash seeing the situation, I'm probably going to roll up and just grab them both and start heaving them towards the door. You know, basically just like grab the brat by the back of the shirt, you know, wrap an arm around the old man and just yank them both away and just head towards the door.
Sure. Give me a CMB versus the child. This is going to be super easy for you.
Yeah, you'd imagine. But with the way I'm rolling tonight.
Very good. You're able to just throw a hand under the arm, like in the crook of the armpit, and lift him off of the ground and heave him out the door. Probably 5 or 6 years old, a little gaunt, not quite growing into himself so far, but yes, you're able to throw him out the door. He hits with a very loud audible noise, but it's not quite loud enough to shake the man. Give me a CMB versus the elderly gentleman. Wow, very good. Very, very good. He's
this
resisting.
Is why I'm not finding too many people. I just keep throwing them into the street.
Is he still in his Glabrizu-esque form?
I have arms as a Glabrizu, man.
No, I know.
It's kind of tucked up to your person, yes, but when you grab a hold, you still have the image that you had before of the sylph.
Mm-hmm.
So he sees you, and he resists against you. You've managed to succeed in grabbing him. Let's see if you can successfully fireman carry this old man out of this building. Give me another CMB, please. Yeah, you are. He's not really wearing much. It's basically night clothes at this point. He has no equipment, nothing on his person. You shoulder him. He kicks and screams out for what you believe to be his daughter. Could be his wife, but likely his daughter, just given the age difference. The child runs back in. What do you do? As this old man is beating on your back and kneeing at your chest.
The kid's running back out?
No, he's running back in the building. Yeah.
Oh, well, I got one arm filled with the old man, so I'm... God, I hate to do it. I'm basically just going to open hand, clap the boy across the chest and right back out.
Damn, okay, make an attack.
Yeah. Yeah, and this would be just like a straight up melee, nothing fancy.
Sure, I figured as much, and it's likely that it's going to be your offhand.
Yeah, so...
Use shock and grasp again. It'll be like a taser. With the regulator taken out.
That's gonna hit. Give me a D3 plus your strength modifier halved.
Let's see. Just...
You gonna power attack this?
Okay, no, cleave.
1.5, so that'd be a 1. Because we always round down in D&D, right?
Yes, we do. Okay. You got it. Minimum damage. You catch the kid as he's screaming. He runs back in. You hear the do mama again as you seem to bring your hand down and catch him right in the chest. And there's this like gulping noise as you catch him right in the chest, and that sends the man into a panic. His body begins to turn and he starts calling out the child's name. He calls, William! William! And he's starting to panic now, but you've caught the kid, you've winded him. You've clearly knocked him just low enough that he's winded. His body falls to the ground, and over the Williams, you hear this...
Yeah, at this point, I'll let the old man down and just yell at him over the roar of the flames, get the boy out.
The man flashes you a malicious, evil, hatred look as he grabs hold of the boy, this disgust with whom you are. He stands, and as he turns, he casts his hand out, and he touches your shoulder. Give me a spellcraft.
Oh, no, this ain't gonna be good. Why is it I gotta piss off the only wizard in town?
There's a lot of wizards in town.
Jesus, I'm rolling shit tonight.
Jacob, it's actually not that difficult. You feel a slight burn to your shoulders, even through your ability to withstand the fire. And when you peer down over your flesh, there's a thumbprint that is scored into your skin. The man's face still seems this disgust and hatred, but he runs outside with the boy, into the middle of the street. He lays him down, and he just holds him. He's cradling him. The boy's still struggling. What do? Do you stay inside of the building?
Yeah, at this point, now that they're out and in safety, I'm going to turn in and see if there's anything I can do to rescue the woman. I've actually got a plan.
When you look back to the woman at this point, the banister is beginning to catch flame. It's mere feet away from her at this point.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is roll up on her, and my plan is to try and wedge an arm and knee under the support beam, and then cast reduce person on her, so I can try and yank her out as she shrinks down.
Okay. Sure, she's not going to get a resist at this point.
It's gonna be...
No, that's a bad joke. Never mind. Just roll on.
You attempt to cast Reduce Person. It fails.
Man, if this is fucking wild magic tonight.
Give me a Knowledge Arcana.
Oh.
Gotta be living to reduce them.
It's true.
Jeez.
They have to be living to reduce them. You know that she's not alive. You realize this after casting your spell, and as quick as you had realized this, the flames lick over the rest of the banister, and you see her clothes beginning to catch flame.
Nothing further to be done. He turns away and starts moving towards the door.
Okay. You make it to the door. You move out into the street. The man is crying. The boy is not moving. His eyes are open. Jaw is agape. Do you move over to help? Do you try to understand what's going on? Okay, what do you do here?
I'll take a knee by the boy and glance at the old man. My apologies, she's dead. And then start looking over the boy.
When you say that, my apologies, she's dead, he immediately, like, his hands fall out from under the boy, and he just punches you, just squares up, just like the 65-year-old man, and just punches you right in the face. And he's like, "You killed them! You're a monster!" When you look down, the boy isn't breathing.
Ha! I did not just accidentally kill another fucking kid!
Give me a heal. Jacob, it doesn't really look good. But when you place your ear, despite being struck in the face by this man, does practically no damage at all. You can hear a heartbeat, but the boy isn't breathing. Do you do anything? CPR wasn't invented at the time.
Okay, the heart's beating, but he's not breathing. Yeah, I'm gonna try and sit the boy up and, thump him on the back, trying to get him back to breathing, because the best I can think of is that it's something like him choking.
Sure. When you sit him up, the grandfather just continues just like waylaying these punches into you, but it has like next to no effect. If anything, it's more annoying and it's obscuring to your vision. But when you sit him up, you notice that there is an impression, a depression actually, in his chest. It's where you landed your hit, your blow.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and yank up his shirt to see if I can investigate further or tear it or what's needed. He's
Sure.
kind of in a hurry at this point.
Sure. It's at this point that when you lift the shirt and you realize that the ribcage seems slightly deflated. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be at full capacity. When you remove, or when you place your hand and you follow the ribs, they all seem fine, but there is a dip in the sternum. You're not entirely sure why, but there is still a depression in the chest. Give me a heal check.
Oh, God. RN, Jesus, if ever there was a time to roll well.
You have no idea. Technically, if we had 4 more subs, you could get a luck reroll, but unless you had someone who was a bit more skilled in this art, you have no idea of knowing.
Let's see. What do I got?
I'll give you one action. You can think about this for a second, but this action will lead to you leaving this spot, either with that boy dead, or that boy alive with his grandfather.
No pressure.
Decepticonally. Welcome into the Bub Club, buddy. I'm officially a subscriber. Thank you so much, Anonymous Gifter.
Now, because of the heal kit, with that +2,
There we go.
would that 15 have made anything?
Karami with the 5 gift subs. Edu Saito, Nimmerith, Aoken, SMZ Munaz, and Gerbil Pearl. You are officially subscribers. With those 5, your first luck reroll is in. And because of that anonymous sub, you're technically 3 away from your next luck reroll.
Could I re-roll that last one?
You could. You could, in fact.
Yes, I think I will re-roll that last roll. Oh.
It's not immediately favorable, but you can reroll your heal.
Oh!
Whew.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go with my initial idea. Sort of like how I did with the Assassin's Blade. I'm going to go ahead and Mage Hand and try and reverse the depression.
Wow, this is going to be challenging. Curiously enough, how much do you know about anatomy? Not Sniper, but your character.
Well, I mean, he's got a fairly basic knowledge of anatomy. Like, he knows where, all the main organs and bones are. He can't, name them off memory.
Okay. So what are you going to Mage Hand?
So, as far as I understand it, he's the sternum, this part here,
Yep.
is depressed in.
It's actually turned. It's got a slight turn to it.
So instead
So
of
it's
being
like
flat,
this.
it's
It's slightly turned. Yes.
okay. So there's a break along the sternum.
Yes, there is.
Oh fuck! That makes it a lot more complex.
But you don't actually know if the bone is doing anything here or if it's something else. You gotta make a final decision, though. Do you make a cut along the sternum in hopes to see what the damage actually might be? Do you make a cut along the rib line to see if there's a way that you yourself can actually use your own hand to lift the rib cage? He's a fairly skinny boy. He might not have very many teleports left, guys, and he has to use one for Dougal-Ross.
Oh shit. Trying to think of what else I might have available to me.
This is how long you have to make a decision.
Yeah, I know. We'll go ahead and tracing the fingers along the ribs. If I'm not feeling a clear cut, he's going to cut along the sternum.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Yes, you do feel a clear cut along the lower rib. The belly drapes in under the rib cage, and you feel like you're going to find what appears to be the closest to a clean cut. Do you take the cut?
Yeah, we'll take the cut.
Give me a heal. Break 10. You're under pressure here. This is rough. It's messy. It's messy. More than anything, it's more confusing to the grandfather. The grandfather is very upset because not only did you just do something to his grandson to stop him from breathing, potentially die, now you've taken out a blade and you've decided to cut him. Do you say anything? Do you try to be diplomatic? It's going to be a difficult save if you go the diplomatic route.
No, I'm not going to be really diplomatic about it. I'm just going to tell him to sit down while I try and save his life. It's going to be more intimidate or something.
Then give me an intimidate.
Though I half wonder if this doesn't fall more under bluff. Jesus!
You have no control at this point. When it comes to... Man, you really should have parsed up your points. I don't know how many points you got as your class, but your heal and intimidate are just bad.
Well, no! I'm a melee fighter. I have 1 point in heal, nothing in intimidate.
That's probably part of the problem. You should have definitely started putting some points into those. But for what it's worth, you should refresh just in case you're even at the lightest bit worried, or just fucking refresh the page, man. You might jumpstart the code in your favor. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's just not working for you right now. But in this scenario,
I'm gonna start putting them in by hand.
Under the pressure of it all, this does not look good. You lose your cool and you snap because this woman just died, and you may have been able to help, but the grandfather didn't make it easy. You just hurt the child. This is the second kid that will be on your shoulders as grief for killing. And when you try to intimidate, you're gripping onto this blade. You drop the visage, right? It's no more. It breaks through the illusion. Your secondary arms appear. Your hands split creating these gigantic blades, and you tell him to back off! He panics, scoots back several steps. You look down to your hands and you realize that that's when your hands have changed. You dropped the blade. Give me a will save. He definitely killed another kid before this.
All right, so
Very good. 25. And in a moment, seeing this, you begin to slightly panic, but you compose yourself quickly. And as you breathe, you watch your hands split. The blades separate themselves and becomes fingers again. Your lower hands and arms seem to pull back up to your chest and torso. You grab at the blade, making the incision. It's still messy. Blood is pouring out. The skin falls loosely against the remaining organs. There is a probably 1.5 to 2 inch gap. It's dark. Do you try to look inside? Do you try to do anything? What do you try to do here?
I'm actually going to feel more than look, because I unless I try and go ahead and bring a light source into this, and of course Thelsa. Oh no, Thelsa does have a light. Yeah. We'll go ahead and cast light and see about getting a better look.
Okay. What do you guys light on your hand?
Yeah, I'm just going to cast light on my hand and my fingertip.
You cast it upon your fingertip and it immediately lights like a torch. Not in flame, but in at least visibility. Give me a perception. This is all happening in like a span of 6 to 7 seconds for the record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you look inside, the ribs seem to be fine. There is a crack in the sternum, something that may have shifted it. Muscles are still binding it in place to a small degree. However, the problem of what you see is that you flattened one of his lungs. It's decompressed. Air is not willingly or willfully entering into this lung.
Right, so he's got a collapsed lung. Now, I know how to treat that, but I don't think Jakob would.
Breathe into his mouth.
No. It's not how it works at all. But yeah, he'll check to see if Jakob would know how to treat this.
Would Jakob know how to treat this? Give me a heal.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I'm rolling my own fucking numbers.
I've got to give you at least some degree of success with a natural 20. You follow the lung all the way up, and you can see the problem. At about the third rib down, while it's bloody, you can see with the light. Bear in mind, your hand is inside of this child's body. There's a pinch. A pinch that has caused the lung to deflate and not allow anything in still. What do you try to do here?
All right, so by a pinch, you mean that the turn of the sternum has pinched off the
Correct.
The inlet for the lung.
Correct.
All right, so going back to the healer's kit, he's basically going to get a large needle or sharp reed.
Okay. Where do you have this?
In the healer's kit.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. And what he's going to do is, using the finger, using the hand that it has light on it, he's going to press up on the sternum and he's going to punch the needle, down through here into the top of the lung so that it can actually inflate.
So you want one hand to be pushing on the sternum, the other to needle past the rib into the top of the unpinched part of the lung, correct? Is that what I'm getting?
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to need a heal check for the first part. It's going to be a little bit easier than previously. I just need you to break 10 on this. The second is going to be a bit more difficult. Good.
Broke 10.
I need you to break a 15.
Again on the heal check?
Yeah.
All right.
You poke and poke again and again. You can see when you look inside, but you only have a very small amount of vision, and you just keep missing it. Blood is starting to seep from the very small incisions on his chest from the needle itself. But you don't think it's feasible to save the boy.
So at this point, I think he is beyond saving.
Yeah, you're convinced that he's beyond saving. It's at this point that you hear the yells of Rahk. He's probably about 30 or so yards away, just beyond a building. And you hear feats of strength. The most masculine half-orc grunts that you can imagine.
No, I mean, there's... You know, at this point, Jakob just kind of hangs his head and... You know, he has to weigh what he can do and what he can't do. And at this point, he can't do anymore. So... Yeah, he's going to get up and grab his kit and start walking away.
Do you say anything to the man? Do you even look back at him?
No, he's not even going to look at the old man. He's going to keep his eyes down and just in passing say, take the body to the guardhouse.
There's no response. Give me
he
perception.
just walks on by.
You're pretty good at perception, all things considered.
Well, I dump points into perception.
You don't hear anything aside from flames. There is no crying, no sobbing, no breathing, no movement. For all intents and purposes, the man isn't there anymore. Do you look now?
Yeah, if I'm unable to go ahead and hear the man or really see him, I'll turn and look.
When you turn and look, in his place lies a single brass piece. Shine and shimmer.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and, grab the brass piece because that's a little unusual.
When you lean down to the brass piece and pick it up, it seems to be flat, but on the other side, your fingertips feel that it's ridged. There's something that's been impressed into it.
Okay.
Flipping it over, it's been minted. And the face of it is at the last laugh. It's then that the burn in your shoulder continues. When you glance down, the thumbprint shifts into the face of the last laugh.
Okay, marked for death by the last laugh. Great!
When you move over to your allies, do you say anything to them about this? Do you hide it? Disguise it? Is there anything that you do?
I don't even really mention it at this point.
Okay. You move over, you see the threat that is before you, you see Dugobras, and you teleport instantly. The other two of you will continue fighting the fire inside of the noble's home, breaking down anything that may be burning up to this point. Dugobras is unconscious. You move over directly to our last ally. He's in the healing area. You're operating inside of the guards' quarters. This area is flooded with survivors. Many survivors. A large percent of them is actually damaged. Some of them have bandages overhead. Some of them are resting with cool rags over their arms, doing everything they possibly can, but the struggle is real. Now, for all intents and purposes, you did very well in your first 2 rounds, Ronald. You had a 5-2 split, a 5-1 split, and then in your last round you went 2-5 as a failure. It was stacked against you, admittedly. It was out of your favor, but it happens. You did suffer from a minor event. Just a minor event, where the others suffered major events to catastrophic event. I will say that Dugobras was the major event. The catastrophic event was on Sniper. In his last round, he went 5-0, full failure, and then he guessed into the range of which he did not want. So, something big just happened. Just another problem for Sniper, but he might be able to play it still. We'll see. However, Jakob, in his sylph form, appears before you. He has with him a 1,400-pound man. Well, probably closer to 1,800 pounds. He's clutching an arm. The man's body lay before him. It is Dugobras. Flame licks the earth and dirt. It seems to spill out away from him.
I would start getting everyone to move away from him to clear an area. Looking at Jakob. What happened?
Far as I could tell, a building fell on him. Does anyone here have a way of getting me back quickly?
No. I'm out of spells.
And hearing that, he's just going to turn and start sprinting towards the fire again. Because he doesn't want to burn another spell just trying to get back.
No problem at all. Seeing as Dugobras is injured, you said he's unconscious?
Yes, he is. He's losing blood.
I'm gonna grab some... Whoa. I'm gonna grab some... Can't use wood, so I'm gonna grab metal piping, if there's any nearby.
Okay.
And use that as the splint to stop, to at least like hold the arm in place. For binding?
The fire seems to, as you try to blot the wound down with the piping that you happen to have here, you've got it pressed correctly against it, and you're thinking of binding it to the body, but the flame still licks from the outside. It sort of moves like tendrils of a sea creature. Hey, Heaven, thank you so much for the subs. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, that's going to be enough right there. That's 2 more luck rerolls.
For binding,
I had a feeling the song was going to come on.
If there's like sheet metal, I would start grabbing a hammer and then like trying to work it around so it would hold into place to some extent.
You've been busting your ass at this point.
Yeah.
For the last few hours, you've been healing people, giving everything that you have, and you're simply just spent on spells. The only thing that you know that you're capable of at this point is cantrips and pouring physical, actual, legitimate state or stat-based heals. So,
yeah,
you desperately need more than anything to succeed here. However, I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna try to give you something. You gotta make a check on this. Give me a perception. Very good, very good. Now give me a knowledge nature.
$20.
Very good. You've seen what happens when fire meets water. It dampens it.
Yes.
It places it out. It pushes everything that it is away. It smothers the situation. The last thing you want to do is kill him. But when your sweat beads up at your forehead and falls just over the top of him, when the sweat hits the open wound, you see the skin toughen and harden, turning into almost like a volcanic stone.
Oh, it becomes obsidian almost.
Something akin to it.
Then I would get buckets.
What do you mean,
I would get a bucket of water that we still have, and pick it up, and then I would get I would use cups. I'm not gonna like pour it crazy. So I would start doing slow pours along the wound.
Okay.
And then guiding it slowly down.
Sure enough, it does just that. It begins to form this almost stagnating black brick that seems to adhere to the body and compress the bleeding and the flame down. Even while he's unconscious, every time a drop hits the wound, the lips curl in pain. The eyes flutter back and forth.
I would try speaking with them to like console them to some extent. I'd be like, easy, friend, easy. They're gonna make it through this. They're gonna make it through this. Easy.
It strikes you now that at this point, that it's his dominant arm. His smithing arm.
Yeah. I mean, that's not the concern right now, though. If I can... I'm not even worried about that. I'm trying to make sure that he doesn't bleed out.
Okay.
With that, once I get everything bound, I was gonna ask: is it possible? Like I said, I do want to find sheet metal, or like I said, if I do get piping and stuff, can I get other pipes and using Might of the Gods bend it so it acts like as a binding to hold into place?
Yeah.
For what, the scabbing, the subsidian scabbing?
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
So
It'd
be like this. It would be like the pipe splints. So it'd be 2 on the forearm and then 2 on the bicep.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
I'll just give it to you. You have the supernatural ability to cast this. Jenya comes over, seeing that you're struggling with this, particularly in the recent removal of his limb, and she doesn't know how she can help any further. She's not really aware. And as a favor to you, because you're helping when you don't have to, seeing how much you care for this individual, she moves to the arm, and she commits to a spell. Give me a spellcraft. It's difficult for you to understand, but it's definitely divine magic. You've seen it before. Your best guess, I'll leave it to a 50-50. You know it or you don't.
Even?
Even, you know it. Odd, you don't. You don't know it. You're not really sure what spell it is.
No problem.
Pressure of it all, but she seems to cast a spell over the limb, and she moves it to over his body. It's difficult because his arm is like 70 fucking pounds. Probably closer to like 140. So she struggles with it, but she's capable of dragging it over to the top of his body. Jakob's there. Jakob is just utterly shocked. He's not been well received. This is more for Jakob than anything. He's not been well received in any capacity. All of his attempts, bear in mind, probably sub 20 or 30%, rendered to be fruitless. Many looked at him like a monster. You know that Jakob's been through a lot. It's weighed heavily on his conscience. You still wonder, Ulhime, was there any truths to what Nathatoran said? Is Klaus actually dead? It's been weeks since you've seen him, leaning into almost a month, but you know how time dilates between the two dimensions.
Yeah.
And where is Thelsa in all of this? You were there fighting alongside, but Thelsa was nowhere. More importantly, why was there a colossal red dragon that flew into the sky, setting the town on fire? So many questions and not enough answers. The rest of the day, night, because none of you will be getting sleep on this night, is left to you doing mundane works. You'll be treating the injured, changing wraps, soaking wraps and hoping to clean them, removing sickness, disease, filth. But unfortunately, you'll never be able to go back out and tend to the city on the rest of this night. Jakob will stay alongside, offering his help as much as he can. Kiana will have eventually returned to you, offering the help, but she never quite lets Jakob stay out of her vision very long.
Jakob ran off when he dropped Dugobras off. He ran back to the fire area.
There was no more fire.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, if it was if it was very clear that the fire breaks were done, and given that his last run through, he only found, well, technically 1.5 survivors now.
Sure. No, you did save people. You managed to save 20% of them on the first run, and if we're looking at the area, it's probably in the ballpark of around 30 people. In the second row, you only saved 10%. There's less people in this area as well. You're probably looking at closer to 10, maybe 12 people, and in the last row, no survivors. They were the first to hit the fray of the vampiric goblins. They were also next in line to be struck by flame. No survivors in the last row. But yeah, you knew that Rahk and Cort had it down. You don't really know who Rahk is very well, but he's offered his services. He fought alongside, and he looked weathered, damaged.
But yeah, I mean, if it's very clear that there's no more fire to do, he is going to just kind of sit down by the wall, and yeah, he's just going to glaze out. Because I mean, at this point, this is beyond fate. Something he's afraid to do anything at this point.
So the war drums are going to fall out. Your evening is going to end like this. Some of you may not like how this happens, but this is how this occurs, courtesy of the events of last session, meeting with this session. Up to this point, you've had a number of people die. A lot of people fleeing. People acting the way that they may in these given circumstances and scenarios. Ulhime bled all of his spells. All that remains is cantrips and some supernatural abilities that he's trying to use in the favor of himself. Jakob, mentally racked, waiting desperately so to find himself back in his own spells. Rahk, after all of the additional efforts poured into the homes, based on the damage that you took and the poor healing job, you still had to use your power attacks and rage to remove and deplete some of the features from the buildings. You were bleeding, nearly bleeding out, until you went into unconsciousness. You did everything in your power before Cort found you alongside him as you basically blacked out in the road. Cort, knowing how he is, knowing what he is, likely would have done everything in his power to assure your survival. Going as far as probably wrapping your body in anything that he can find, cleaning the wound with anything that he can find, and getting help immediately. This is where the cart is going to come into play. Cort is going to spend right in the ballpark of around 15 minutes carting your near dead ass back to the guardhouse. Cort is going to go to sleep on pretty much almost an unconsciousness state from exhaustion.
Support boys.
Unconscious state out of exhaustion. We see Rahk, unconscious state out of exhaustion. We see the full exhaustion state on Jakob. Ulhime never tires, though his body still weakens from the amount of damage and the change, the constant push and pull between literal evil and the strongest of goods. Thelsa, your body remained turned back into the woman that you are. Some of the platelets ripped clean from your person. Mostly in the upper chest, they're stripped away. Before inevitably, you're found. One of the fleeing guardsmen ran out the southern walls. He smelled some strange happenings in the woods, but feared not for what it was because all of the damage was inside. When he saw something, some color that just seemed out of place, he stumbled upon you, a half-orc. Seeing you in this damaged, nearly dead-like state, realizing that there's more to life than running, he grabs at your limp and weakened body and carts you back into town. You're also taken to the guard's quarters when he's officially been guided there. You'll be found at around 8 to 9 a.m. Past first light, all you can still see is whatever your head is guided to see. No one will have a long rest. you'll all be operating under exhaustion on this day. It is likely that you will not get a time to spend to gather your spells, Ulhime. You will still be operating on cantrips until you're given an hour. Morning comes, the fire is out. The goblins are gone, as far as you can tell. The vampire children are missing. The dire bear still lie in the street, dead, more so than it was before. And the tri-sister hags, just in parts. The assault on Cauldron was, if anything, but a failure. They succeeded. Your resources run thin. Your town, under far more stresses than I can even amount to say at this point. Many people lie dead in your streets. The mayor, as he parts ways in the morning, declares that he's going to rest. He's going to call in as many favors as he can get. He needs to assess the damages in the town. He expects to be seeing all of you. He says this directly to you, Ulhime, because the rest of your comrades are unconscious. And he points before he leaves. I don't expect us to be on friendly terms, but this is still my city. And there are still people here that belong alive and well. I'll be seeing you. Each of you. And he breaks away.
If he's walking by himself, I'll walk back with him because I want to talk to him.
Okay. You know the situation. You are not in his favor.
Correct.
You attacked him in his home, and he showed his true face.
Correct.
To you, he truly is a greater evil. He's not a mere man. He's a beholder. One that has played a larger hand in many things inside of this town. You walk with him. If at first, behind, you catch up. He moves with a certain stride about him, confidence, stoicism. You meet his pace, and he turns to you. Then he looks back to the road.
I'll start surveying the area as we're walking to make sure there's no like goblin vampires looking through like the windows and stuff. Just still be on alert. I know it's daytime, but
sure.
Don't want to.
You catch nothing. Maybe a few stray faces at very best, but none of them goblin.
I've asked you before, and you never gave me an answer. Do you know who's to blame for this? Or was this something that you had constructed to gain favor?
I had no hand in this. Not that you'll believe me anyway. I have nothing to gain from lying to you at this point either. This was simply outside of my wheelhouse of knowledge.
You were warned, though, about this.
I was told a great
you
many
about
thing, but you offered me no proof.
When someone tells you that there's a horde of evil lying beneath your city, you would just disregard it.
He stops and he turns to you and he puts his hands up. I'm told every day that the taxes that I levy upon these people in this town make me the greatest evil that this town has ever seen. Yet I am the one standing keeping it operating. Would you have me believe every peasant or apprentice with alms, problems of their own, that steps to me declaring that there's a greater threat to this town, when they hate me for everything that it is that I do? Let us be clear. This is rhetoric. You owe me nothing. I owe you many a thing, including a proper burial. You operate with my permission. He's not hiding anything. He's very, very loud in the streets.
Yeah.
Until you become a present threat and problem, you can continue to operate here, but when you start getting a little too big for your pants, I will put you down faster than you are even aware of.
There's a rather long line from the looks of it.
What did I miss
And
then?
from the looks of it,
Okay.
you seem to be towards the back.
You might think that. You also might not know that I'm the one that arranged this line. I set everyone into play, of course. It's up to you from that point to make your own friends. And lo and behold, you've made no friends. Even your best friend doesn't even care for you anymore.
And what would you know?
I know plenty. Didn't you know it? I'm all-seeing. And he circles his head with his fingers.
All those eyes, and I still think something like you is blind.
Maybe so.
To think that I wouldn't have friends would be an understatement. One that could lead to your downfall.
You talk a big game, yet you have nothing to show for it. Cute arm, by the way. Where did you get that from? Was it from Occipitus?
So what, you live there?
Live there? No. But I've been there. Wouldn't be my first time, won't be my last. Tread with caution, Ulhime. You're not helmed yet, and you are far from it.
And you should sleep with one eye open.
I'm like looking back and forth.
The day's gonna come where your time will be at hand, and your rule over this city, regardless of what facade you put up, will come to an end, and these people will be free of you.
He just smiles, a wicked grin, and he nods to you. Good morning. And he leaves.
Mayor, and he walks away.
Oh.
Do you return to your allies?
Yes. I would probably check on Dougal Brows to see if he's awake yet, though.
He's not awake.
Okay.
Remember, it's only been
holding
like 4 or 5 hours up to this point.
Yeah. Is his binding holding up?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I would kind of like observe just the obsidian that kind of grew on his arm, just to make sure that it's still holding, that it's not crumbling. If it is, I would try to apply like little drips of water into those cracks if I see them, just to rebind it.
Okay. I'm going to take an opportunity here to step away for a second so I can get something to drink. I think tonight's session might run just a little late. Just a little late. But when we come back, we'll give everybody an opportunity to wake in 4 or 5 hours so that they can all get into some kind of roleplay. Everybody's going to be forced to make even more decisions and operate under full fatigue and exhaustion. So, I'm going to throw up the BRB, and I'm going to step away, but the players will still be here. So if you'd like to talk to them, this is your opportunity. If you have questions, concerns, vent them now. Maybe you want to know about their characters. This is your chance. I'll be back in just a second, guys.